Pine Island 2022 Candidate Forum. For those just joining us, my name is Mitch Massa, a Community and Business Development Specialist for Community and Economic Development Associates, and I will be the moderator this evening. This is the second of our two forums this evening. The first was City Council, and this one will be the Mayor Forum. We will ask a series of predetermined questions to the candidates. Each candidate will have 3 minutes to answer. After which we will open the forum to any public questions. If you have questions that you would like answered during the open question portion, there are pens and paper in the back of the room. Please take a moment to write your question down and bring it to the city staff in the back of the room. We will now draw names to determine the order in which candidates will answer questions. First will be David Fries, and then followed by Adam Bissett. First question, we'll now begin with a 2-minute introduction. So candidates, please introduce yourself.
Well, good evening. Welcome everybody to tonight's forum. My name is David Fries. I'm the current mayor of Pine Island. I was born and raised in this community, and much of my family still remains here, so I count it a privilege to be able to call Pine Island my home. I graduated in 2002 from Pine Island High School before attending the University of Minnesota, where I received my bachelor's degree in sociology, history, and American studies. And it was a good time up there. And I had planned to stay in the Twin Cities, and I wanted to go up there, but I returned to Pine Island as I was led and decided to stay here and call Pine Island my home. And as a result of that, I wanted to be invested in my community. My family has long had a tradition of being involved in our town in one fashion or another. And so that's what I decided to do. And a few years ago, I decided to run for city council, and I was fortunate to be elected to that body and gain some experience serving in that capacity as an elected official. It's a privilege, and I don't take that for granted. And during that time, I've been on a number of different committees and organizations. I thoroughly believe in giving back to this community. I've served on a number of different nonprofits as well as volunteer organizations. Currently, one of the best organizations I serve on is the Pine Island Fire Department. I think that's one of the best ways we can give back to our community. It's a lot of time, but you're serving your community. I also serve on a couple of different committees through the city, and that includes both the planning and zoning. I'm on the budgetary committee as well, and the personnel committee, which is extremely important. We are able to hire outstanding staff to serve in our city government. So those are just a few different things that I'm engaged with, and I'm excited to be here tonight to share my story and seek your vote.
Thank you, David. Adam?
Hello, everybody. My name is Adam Bissett. I was born and raised in Rochester. I graduated from high school in 1991. Since then, I've held many occupations. I've done security for many years. I've worked in computer programming. I've also done right now I'm working at Mill Civic Center, event coordinating. So I have a lot of experience in supervisory roles, also in some sort of public safety and law enforcement. I moved to Pine Island 3.5 years ago. Love the community, just love it. Because Rochester was just getting to be a lot of crime and a lot of issues over there, and some of those issues are slowly starting to come here. That's why I'm up here. To date that. I am single, no children. Hopefully someday that'll change. And then, yeah, just love the community. I'm a musician. Other hobbies I have is I'm also an author. I got 3 books in the works. And I want to just help the community as much as I can. Know a lot of people over here in my time that have been here, and just want to do the best I can for everyone.
Thank you, Adam. So this next question will go to Adam and then David. Why are you running for mayor?
I'm running for mayor because I saw a lot of issues in town here that concern me, and I've spoken to with many people in the community as well. Majority of them had the same concerns that I did. So I felt that someone needs to step up and address these concerns. So I felt that I should do that role. I wish there was more than just 2 candidates, honestly. these issues that I want to address, that's just why I want to work here. I want to address some of the issues here, and I want to help the community.
Thank you, Adam. And David.
I'm excited to seek a second term as mayor because there's some things that I would like to be able to see through to fruition. The office of mayor is a weak mayor system, so we can't really sit up here saying that we're going to accomplish things on our own. It takes a body of individuals to accomplish any kind of change. So any individual that might make a promise to the community that they're going to make changes has to be very careful because we don't run a dictatorship. It's a voted body. And with the mayor office, some of the things that I am excited to see through in the next few years are some of the projects that we've been working on for the last 10, 15 years. And government is a very long, drawn out process, so there's no immediate change. It takes time. And as mayor, I enjoy being able to lead the community and see some of these projects, whether it's infrastructure projects, whether it's housing development or business development. Those are things that I think are important, and that's why I want to continue as mayor to make sure that those important projects are addressed. Along with providing a safe and secure community, we have one of the safest communities in Goodhue County, and that's attested by some of the data that comes out of the Goodhue County Sheriff's Office. We're a growing community, so there are some crime that we have to deal with, but that comes with any community that is growing. You're not going to stop that. And how do you fix that? You fix that by engaging with your community, provide resources, especially affordable housing. When you give somebody an opportunity and a chance to live somewhere safe, that's going to pay dividend. I don't believe in dumping more money into some social projects because that's proven to not work. But that's not our local government's job to do that. We have to provide the resources. And as mayor, those are some things that we can address and bring to the forefront to our community and engage with them.
Thank you. And this next question will go to David and then Adam. Mayor is a 2-year commitment. What projects do you think should take priority over the next 2 years?
That is a great question. I'm glad you asked that from this forum. Some of the projects that we are currently working on, and I'm looking forward to continuing in the next 2 years of mayor, is I got 4 items that I want to see through, and that includes securing funds through the state of Minnesota and our federal government for the sanitary sewer district. It's not the sexy thing that people want to talk about in government, but it's something that's extremely important because it's going to have a financial impact on every single one of our tax-paying citizens in this town, along with our businesses. I own a house in this town, so I have to pay taxes, so I'm fully aware of what this impact is going to be, especially with our sanitary schools, with our sanitary sewer district. We want to be partnering with 3 other communities to make it an affordable thing for our community to have. It's a necessity. If we don't secure this funding, we're looking at a triple fold in taxes tacked on and fees tacked on to just the wastewater fees that a homeowner is going to have to pay. I'm also looking at the road projects that we have in our community. We're just about finished with our major road projects. This has been something that we've been working on for the last 15 years. It was put off for about 20 years. So our council, I'm very proud to say, bit the bullet, and we're getting these road projects done. That's not something to take lightly, and I would challenge anybody wanting to take on a mayorship that doesn't have experience with this. It's a very daunting task, and it's not something you can just jump into. We are also looking at business development in our community. We have 2 major business opportunities or business development opportunities in Pine Island. Something that we've been waiting for many, many years, and we finally have that opportunity to shine where a lot of other communities have these business developments. We have that coming to our already thriving business district. And also we have a project in the works called the Age Friendly Initiative, and I would like to continue to see that to fruition over the next 2 years. It's something Pine Island became the 600 and some community in the world to be named an age friendly community. And that's not just geared towards your senior citizens, it's geared towards every single taxpayer and every single resident of Pine Island. And that's something I'm proud to say that we've been working on over the last year, and over the next 2 years, we're going to see it thrive.
Thank you, David. And Adam.
Can you repeat the question?
Yes, mayor is a 2-year commitment. What projects do you think should take priority over the next 2 years?
I think the #1 project definitely is infrastructure. Right now, the wastewater treatment facility does need to be, we need a new one. We can't wait 5, 10 years out. It's got to be done immediately. You have to involve local emergency, you have to involve governor, you have to get it done. It has to be done immediately. I can't wait because people need clean water. We gotta go to flush our toilets. We gotta get that done. Also the power lines as well in town. I know a lot of them are open as well. I myself have any problems with power failure in my apartment because the lines need to be replaced. Another big issue I have too is business growth. We need business growth. Business growth is very stagnant.
I paused the time.
Yeah.
Oh, business growth. We need some business growth in this town. This town is very stagnant. It's kind of slowed up. We need business growth here. We have a chance to do that with the Prairie Island Community. I think we need to get some community businesses here. That's one of the big priorities. We should get community businesses. I'd like to see community center here. I'd like to see theaters here. I'd like to see restaurants here. We got to create those incentives for them to come here. We got to cut regulation. We got to help as much as we can. We got to cut taxes when we have to for them. We got to do anything we can to get businesses that want to come here. Another problem I'm seeing too is the schools. Right now, the schools, there's some bad, how do I say, propaganda that's been hitting our schools the last few years. And I'm starting to see that into the Pine Island schools, and that's got to be put to a stop. We can't have indoctrination coming out of our schools. Those are our kids. We can't have that. Other things also is public safety. I know crime right now is starting to rise. So it's one of the reasons why I dislike living in Rochester, because crime is getting bad there. I don't want to see the problems in Rochester coming to Pine Island. So we got to get on the crime issues. We got to work with our police. We can't tie their hands. We got to work with them. Other issues I would like to see done as well is
Thank you, Adam. This next question will go to Adam and then David. Pine Island has been experiencing steady growth for several years. What are your plans to continue fostering that growth within Pine Island?
I personally have not seen this growth. Showing where it's at. But to develop growth, it's the same as I was saying. We need to get businesses here. We need to get our incentive for business to come here. We have to do everything we can to bring them here. The new Elk Run land deal as well. Prairie Island community, you got to work with them a lot. You got to really be strong with that community because I think we can do some cooperation on business growth with them, which would be a big factor. Also, I think for the housing, we do need low-income housing here, but we got to do it right. I'm not a fan of the idea of putting up a bunch of large apartment complexes. I'd rather see individual homes if possible, because that's something I just think home ownership is something that people better have home ownership. Sticking 50 people in an apartment complex, not a fan of that. We just need to work also on public spaces. We got to build more parks, I think, would be nice, and just make a community where people want to move.
Thank you, Adam. And David.
Well, I would challenge Adam if he says he doesn't see the growth. Clear case example would be that Pine Island has averaged 20 to 30 homes a year, which is considerably above any other community in Goodyear County. We're actually the fastest growing community in Goodyear County. With our growth population, we're projected to add another 1,000 to 2,000 people in the next 5 to 10 years. So this stagnant growth you talk about, it's not there. It has already happened. So, and that's a testament to what we have for tax base. So that growth is there. Now, when we're looking at fostering growth in our community, I think we're doing a fantastic job in preparing for that growth, especially with our collaboration with the school district. The school district is the #1 sole reason that this community has been growing like it has, is because it is an outstanding school. The school board is an autonomous body, so they make all the decisions regarding curriculum and things like that. So that's not really the city's job to do that. Nor legally can do that. But well, that's a state constitution and federal constitution. So let me speak, please. Let me speak. And so I'm looking at, when we talk about fostering growth in this community, look at what we've done with our public spaces. We have invested more money into developing our park systems. I'm very proud of that. Now, when you start adding more park space, that takes taxes to run those. So you have to be very mindful of how much public space that you have, because that has to be maintained, which costs money. So you just have to be mindful of how much you grow with public spaces. But I do, that's been a platform of mine since I was on city council and now mayor, has been to invest money in our public spaces and develop that because they do get utilized. A major point was the investment in our swimming pool. That was a $2+ million project that we did that has paid dividends in bringing people to Pine Island, both visitors and residents. So I'm excited that we foster that growth with our public spaces. Now, when Mr. Distad made a comment about apartments and not wanting to bring those, that's actually been one of the #1 requests that we received at City Hall from the public wanting to move to Pine Island, because they're looking for apartments. A lot of younger people are not looking for home ownership right now. And that's a national trend. That's not just Pine Island's trend, but that's a national trend, looking for that space. So we do have housing going on. We've had we've had 4 major housing developments where we do have homes going up. We are working with Olmsted County and seeking funding to move forward affordable housing. That's a thing that's going on in the Tri-County area, not just Pine Island. And I am looking forward to what we can do to get affordable housing in Pine Island and get individuals into homes that would like to own a home.
Thank you, David. And then Adam, you can have 60 seconds for rebuttal.
First of all, I'm not against apartment complexes, but I do prefer home ownership. I just think that's a better thing for people. As for the schools, are you involved? I mean, how involved are you with the parents? Because I do think that a mayor has a lot of influence on what can be taught in schools. If you work with the parents. So, that's all I got to say.
Would you like to answer that question, David?
No, sir. That's a good rebuttal.
Moving forward, the next question will go to David and then Adam. The mayor is frequently a concerned citizen's first point of contact when they have an issue with the city. How are you going to treat residents equitably while keeping the city's interests at heart when approached by a concerned citizen?
As mayor, you do receive calls and emails and text messages and face-to-face conversations. And one thing that caught me off guard as mayor was receiving phone calls at 11:45 p.m., 12:15 a.m., 1:35 a.m., because they're upset with their neighbor. So you do engage with them and you have to treat them fairly. Now, was it pleasant having that conversation that early in the morning? No. But you learn to deal with it. And one of the challenges is that you do have to remind your citizens that your job is to look at the well-being of the entire community, not just the individual. And sometimes that's very hard. I'm a very sensitive person when it comes to talking with individuals and listening to their concerns. And sometimes you don't agree with their complaints or their requests. You are respectful and you listen, and sometimes you can fix things. If an individual wants a city pole taken out of their yard that's been unused for 10 years, that's something you can fix quite quickly. But if it's something where they want a sidewalk put in along their street, that takes a longer time. And And so you take the opportunity when you engage with your citizens to educate. And the good Lord gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, and that's our job, is to listen before we speak. Sometimes as a freeze, that can be very difficult for me. But I've learned that skill over the last 6 years working in city government. And, you know, when we talk about being equitable, when you have 2 neighbors that are disputing a fence, you have 2 neighbors that are disputing garbage cans, or you have 2 neighbors disputing where they park cars, you gotta be able to take both sides, and you have to listen, and sometimes you have to give an answer that's not gonna be popular. And sometimes the safest answer is to direct them to City Hall, as our city staff has the resources to look up what that ordinance may be very quickly. I am not above being able to go home and do my research and try to find answers. But it is exciting, and it can be stressful, and it can be rewarding when you're engaging with your citizens on some of those complaints. But you're also dealing with people that may not live in your community that bring concerns to you. You have to be respectful to them. You have to remind them that they don't live in your community, but you're willing to listen to their ideas. And my first priority is the residents of this community. The Prairie Island Indian Nation has purchased land, and we have been fortunate to work alongside them and address some of their concerns, because they are going to be residents of our community. So it's a practice in progress. And so it's a skill that you have to develop, and it's not always easy.
Thank you, David. And Adam?
You repeat the question?
Yes, the mayor is frequently a concerned citizen's first point of contact when they have an issue with the city. How are you going to treat residents equitably while keeping the city's interests at heart when approached by a concerned citizen?
First of all, I do not have prepared notes. I'm speaking off the cuff. I swear, just want to state that. Open door policy. Everybody comes in, they talk. You got to treat everybody the same. That's all I got on that.
Thank you, Adam. This next question will go to Adam and then to David. The mayor frequently interacts with city staff to run the city's day-to-day business. What is your plan to build positive relations with city staff?
Same thing, open door, work with them. I don't know what we say a lot than that. Just keep an open mind on things. Just work with everybody best you can.
Thank you, Adam. And David?
Mr. Distaff made a very good point. You work with them the best you can. There's a lot of personalities that are in our city staff, and sometimes you don't always get along with the ideas that are presented, and you learn to work with that. And so with our city staff, for as long as I've been in city government, there's always been an open door policy that you're able to go in and engage. What I truly enjoy living in a smaller community, and we're still a smaller community, is that city staff, many of them are your neighbors, and you've known them for a long time. I've got friends that work in public works that I've known for a number of years. I've got people that work in City Hall whose spouses are on the fire department, or they're in other organizations. And so you foster those relationships. I've known a lot of these people for many years. And so when you're talking about fostering a positive environment, it's there. And my predecessor, Mr. Steele, taught me very well when he said, I need to be able to listen and engage with these people, because they have concerns as well. They live here in our community, they pay taxes, so their voice needs to be heard as well. One thing that we did as a city is we moved forward with a staff development program, which I think it was a tremendous idea to do, where you bring our city staff together, you work on different issues, you work on development. Who does not want a better city government? Who does not want a better city body? So we've taken the initiative and the effort to implement that program, and we were able to do that. And that's how you get results. You want as a city to hire the best that you can. You want to have the best representatives that you can, and I think Pine Island is moving in that direction. It's a continuing process, and it's something I'm proud of. And as mayor, I feel like I've been able to help initiate some of this. Again, it's a council effort, And this city is gonna pay, it's gonna be a positive payout for our community, with what we do with our city staff. And again, being able to just go into City Hall and talk with our city staff, that I can do that weekly, I try not to do it daily. I don't want them pushing me out, so it's a good thing that we have going as a city, and I would like to keep that going as mayor.
Perfect, thank you, David. And before we go on, just a quick announcement, the bathrooms are out of order at this time, the water is shut off. If you do need to use the restroom, ask city staff and they'll allow you to use the restroom downstairs. Thank you. So for this next question, first we'll go to David and then to Adam. At the September City Council meeting, the City Council approved the preliminary 2023 levy. What areas of the budget would you like to see the most improvement? Which projects do you support the most? How will you shape future budgets to coincide with the capital improvement plan?
That's a good question. And anytime you start talking about budgets, people's ears perk up because we're dealing with taxpayer money here. I am extremely proud of the budget that we are proposing moving into 2023. It's a fairly lean budget right now with inflation going on. There's things at the national and state level that we have no control over. So I feel as a city government, we're able to take some control in our expenditures, and that's what we're looking at doing. We're looking at small purchases this next year, just be mindful of what can happen on the national and state level. And when we start talking about what projects we really want to look at focusing on, forestry project's going to be the big one. It's an expensive project. We're looking at $3+ million. It's much higher than what we'd like to spend, but we have to get that done. It's a project that should have been done years ago. Again, our council was able to bite the bullet and get these projects done. It's the last major street project that needs to be finished in Pine Island. And what I'm truly proud of is the city's effort to go out and talk to these homeowners along that road and engage with them, invite them to city council meetings so they can learn about what's going on. Also, in addition to that, we're looking at some expenditures with our park systems. We're investing money in our ice rink complex. As many of you have been driving through Main Street, you'll see a number of our residents are out enjoying the product of what they wanted, and that was a pickleball / ice rink. Not only is that a fun project to have in Pine Island, but it's also something that's getting community members outside and they're staying healthy. So that's something that I think it might be a small peanut in the big basket, but it's something that we were able to do. And when we start talking about what we'd like to change about the budget, it's going to change. So regardless if I say I want to change anything, it is going to change. I'm on the budget committee with Councilman Johnson, and we're going to be whittling that budget down as much as we can. But being mindful, and this is one thing, again, I'm proud of our city government and our council right now, is we are putting money away for capital projects. Rather than taking big bites and bonding out for a fire truck purchase, we are wanting to put some of that money away so we have that cash available when that time comes to make a purchase, so we're not having to put a big dent in the general fund. And that's something that I'm very proud of our city doing. We've been they tried doing that about 25 years ago, and it kind of went by the wayside, and our council has brought that back. But that's also something I think our community should be aware of, and when we are putting that capital money away, because what we are doing is we are wanting to save our taxpayer money in the long run. We've already seen the fruits of that effort, and as mayor, I will continue to ensure that we're doing that.
Thank you, David and Adam.
Well, that's sort of an unfair question to me, since I don't have the benefit of being the mayor for the last 2 years and have access to some of that information. But as for the budget, I definitely think, as I've stated before, is infrastructure should be the #1 priority that a budget should be going for. Street repairs, the sewer plant, cables in town, but infrastructure definitely should be #1. But again, I don't have all that information because I don't have that benefit of being here all the time. Thank you.
Thank you. And that will end the prepared portion of the predetermined questions here. We will go to the citizen submitted questions. The first, quick reminder, if you do have a question, there are pieces of paper and pens in the back. You can write it down and hand it to Elizabeth and she will hand it. So the first one will go to Adam and then to David. There are multiple committees and ways to be involved within the city. How have you been involved and for how long? And explain how this will benefit your role as mayor.
I'm not part of any committees. I'm just a community member that has got along with my neighbors. Try to do as many deals as possible. Try to be part of the community as much as possible. Try to attend events as possible. I don't really.
Thank you, Adam and David.
I was first approached by some of my fellow citizens to get involved with committees, and that was through the Cheese Festival. And that was around 12, 13 years ago. And I'm extremely proud of that organization. We have one of the grandest festivals in southeastern Minnesota. It's one of the oldest, and I've been proud to be a part of that. It was a small step, and that led to other committees that included being involved with the Historical Society. And these are all organizations that I volunteered for. I sought them out. Not all of them sought me out. I sought them out because I wanted to get involved. And you also learn how to collaborate, and you learn how to move forward as a voting body. So that was with the Historical Society, which I'm very proud of, because they ensure that we maintain an identity as a community and where we came from. And my family has been here since the 1880s, and so I have some vested interest in making sure that this community thrives and that we look out for each other. And then after that, other organizations started coming out of the woodwork that I was truly excited to get involved with. The Lions Club. We have one of the largest and healthiest Lions Clubs in the area. And if you want to look at a body of people that serve their community, that is one of them. And they do truly phenomenal work. And again, that was an organization I sought out and I wanted to be a part of. And I've been a member of that going on almost 10 years now. And then over time, there's a few other organizations I've been involved with and committees that I've been involved with. The Arts Council here in town, I started that back started involved with that back when I was in high school. That's almost going on a quarter of a century ago. But then along came the fire department, and that I fought tooth and nail. I did not want to be a firefighter. I was a police officer for 7 years. I wanted to stay law enforcement, and my family had been involved with the fire department, and sure enough, I got the fire department bug. And I signed up for that almost 9 years ago, and that is an organization I'm truly proud of. It's they are there to serve the community. We're there 24/7. Whether it's 1 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, 11 a.m., we're there to respond to calls. And I've gotten to know many people in this community through that organization. I also have people on the fire department that I call true friends, that they're lifelong friends. So there's a number of organizations. I started back when I was in high school. I started getting involved. So, going on 25, 30 years, I've been able to be involved with an organization one way or another. And that's given me a foundation for serving on the city government. And I look forward to being your mayor for the next 2.
Thank you, David. So this question will go to David and then to Adam. Is it true that the Prairie Island Indian community will not pay any taxes? How will Pine Island pay for their needs?
Right now, they are paying taxes, and they will be paying taxes for as long as that property is in ownership. It's not on the, they are not recognized, it's not recognized tribal land out there. So as long as that land is not in tribal or sovereign status, they pay taxes just like everyone else. And that tax money goes into our local government. It goes to help pay for roads. It goes to help pay for fire services. It helps to pay for law enforcement coverage. So they are paying taxes. If and when that land goes into sovereign status, we work with the tribal government to receive stipends in lieu of those taxes. And they've already stepped up in more ways than one for this community and making sure that some of that money comes back that helps carry the cost for that land to be out there. whether that's through partnerships with the fire department and making sure that they have fire coverage. If they so choose to have law enforcement coverage, whether it's their own people that will do that, or if they want to contract, that's going to be there as well. They are working alongside our city to figure out plans and how to maintain the roads out there, because our city streets partner in or connect to their tribal land, so they want to make sure that they have roads that they can use. So you're correct. Right now, or long term, I should say, if that land goes into sovereign status, no, they will not be paying local taxes, but that money is going to be coming in different avenues. But right now, they are paying taxes.
Thank you, David. And Adam?
That's all been answered. That's all.
Thank you. Are there any additional questions from the public? If not, we'll move forward here. We will open it up to give each candidate 3 minutes to cover any topics that they did not get a chance to cover tonight, and any closing remarks. First, we'll go with Adam.
Just want to state that I am not a lifelong person. I've not been here since 1800s, or family's been here forever. But, you know, in the short time I have been here, I do love this community, and I do love the citizens here. I do. That's why I'm on. Normally, I mean, I wouldn't even think of being up here with that, but I just heard a lot of concerns and a lot of issues that this town is facing. That a lot of people see it the same way as I do. I want to be voiced for. And I think things can be done here right now that are not being done, and I think many things can be improved. And I don't like to see things take 5 years, 10 years, and you know, that's the way government works. There's ways around it. There are ways around it. You got to search every avenue. I just want to make this a better place for all of us. We're all in this together. Just want to be your next mayor to help. You got to go through this together. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. And David.
There was a word that Mr. Distad used that I really like as well, and that's the term together. This community is a strong, thriving community, and one of the privileges I've had over the last 6 years in city government is when I go and attend conferences in other areas of the state, other areas of the region. I take great pride when these other people come up and they speak highly of our community and what's going on. One of those things that's happening is that we've been able to maintain a small town feel as we're growing. That's through investment in Main Street, and I would like to continue that. We can't force people to shop locally, but we can make those incentives. And I already see the fruition of what we've done with that, whether it's through the Chamber of Commerce or through the EDA. And we're going to maintain that small town feel. Donna made that comment earlier about small town, and that's going to stay there. That's not going to change. But it takes that togetherness. It takes that partnership. It takes that engagement. It takes that openness. And we have it. But we just need to foster it. We need to continue with that. We continue that by inviting businesses to be here in Pine Island, to call Pine Island home. Right now, we have 9 large manufacturing businesses in our community that call Pine Island home. They provide jobs. Those people want to live here. They want to stay here. They want to shop here. We provide that incentive. But but it's not just the business, district. It's also those residential homes. You've got to make those people feel welcome, and I think we've done a phenomenal job of opening up and allowing those avenues for those people to be engaged as they so choose. We invite every single month, we invite people to come to our council meetings and engage with their city government. And a lot of times, council chambers are not always full. That's not a bad thing. That means people are very satisfied with what's going on in our community, and that's a good sign. And we have every opportunity to go and talk with people, and if those people want to come to city council meetings, they're more than welcome. And we welcome them. But when I talk to people on the street and they say thank you, they enjoy living here, they're happy, then I think we're doing things right. And I am positive driven. I like to be proactive. I don't like to be reactive. And we're already meeting some of those things. And so I look forward to being mayor for the next 2 years. I look forward to the council that we have. And I look forward to seeing what's going to happen in Pine Island over the next 2 years. And I'm excited to see people be a part of it.
Yes, Adam, go ahead, 60 seconds.
Yeah, one of the biggest concerns I have gotten from speaking with people in the community though is people are scared of change. They don't want Pine Island to become like Rochester. I get that. I don't want that either. That's why I left Rochester to come here. I want this to stay a small hometown feel, no matter how much we grow. I do want it to stay that way. I just wanted, people to understand that I'm with you. I don't want to lose our hometown feel. You're right. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you, David. And with that, that concludes our 2022 candidate forums. Thank you to both of our candidates here and our council candidates earlier.